It's Friday Coffee with your mortgage man, Eric. Here we go. Today, we're going to move on to part 2 of what I should call the frustration series. Frustrated Incorporated. Remember that song by Soul Asylum? Anyhow, the assets can be one of the most frustrating things in the mortgage process. So part 2 of a 3-part series talking about the assets, the most, in my opinion, the most frustrating things that we deal with in the process of mortgage, of underwriting your mortgage loan. And look, I've been doing this for about 20 years now, and people ask me, what's the most frustrating thing you come upon on a day-to-day basis? And it has to do something with the assets. So last time, part 1, we talked about the earnest money deposit and the canceled check, and what does that mean? If you want to catch that, go to my previous video, part 1 of the Frustrated Incorporated series. Part 2, we're going to talk about the gift monies that you can get from relatives, and sometimes when your buyers decide to cut an earnest deposit check, earnest deposit, security deposit from an account they have not disclosed to you. Let's talk about these things. So, typically, most of the times, or that we should be doing, we should be collecting all the documentation from these buyers up front, right? Before they make an offer. That's what we're supposed to do. Now, sometimes on the fly that may not happen, and shame on you if it doesn't. Anyhow, we collect the documentation. Part of the documentation that we're collecting is their assets, their asset accounts, checking, savings, money market, 401k, IRA, online savings accounts, you name it, we should be collecting it. And here's one of the reasons why that happens, and it still puzzles me to this day, because I always ask for all the assets. I want all the assets. And I'll make the determination if we can leave them out or not. And sometimes we can. If we have more than enough assets to close a transaction, let's just remove some and make the process easier. What happens occasionally is I get the consumer's checking and savings accounts, maybe their money market, and they go into a contract over the weekend. I start processing the file the following week, and I find out they cut the earnest deposit check by an account that I don't have. So let's say I got their Wells Fargo account, and they use a Bank of America account to cut their earnest deposit check from. Great. Here comes the frustration. I need your last 2 months of bank statements for the Bank of America account now. Yeah, so the consumer is now not happy, but it's to their own fault. So understand, that can create a frustration. When your lender is asking you for all of your asset statements, give them all of your asset statements. Anything and everything that you have. Because you may open up Pandora's box at that point by disclosing this other Bank of America account that your mortgage professional has yet to review. What do they need to review? They need to review several things in there. The transfers coming in and out of other accounts, deposits that could be going into the account. Is it a business account? Is it a personal account? There's certain things that your lender should be reviewing on those bank statements to see, should we give them to the underwriter or not? Or do we have to give them to the underwriter or not? And sometimes it's better left unknown, because like I said, you can open up Pandora's box by giving a whole nother account. So, be upfront with your lender on that. Moving on to gift monies. Now here, wow. Frustrated Incorporated gift monies can be a frustrating thing. Hold on to your seatbelts here, baby. So, you can break this down kind of into FHA and conventional loans, because some of the guidelines will differ a bit from FHA to conventional. But the gist of it is the same overall. So if you have a donor, that's who's gifting you the monies. The donor, or the gifter, technically is a donor that's giving you these monies. We're going to require documentation from the donor. Now, there are some loopholes with the conventional loan. Depends on how it's set up. For the majority, just look at it as I need to get documentation from the donor. So you get we're doing an FHA loan, let's say. The donor, your parents or grandparents, are going to gift you $5,000 towards your down payment. I need the parents or the grandparents' bank statements. Why? Why do you need that? Here's why. We need to make sure that they have enough monies to gift you to begin with. Well, that's kind of a stupid question. No, it's not. Here's why. It's because all monies in a real estate transaction have to be sourced and seasoned for 60 days. 30 days on some occasions with the donors. So when we get the parents' bank statements, we're going to look at the balance that they had at the beginning of the cycle, and then we're going to look at their activity and their balance at the end of the cycle as well. So if their balance at the end of the cycle was $1,100 and they gifted you $5,000, right? There's red flags that are going off everywhere. Where did their monies come from to gift you? We need to source those monies. It's a real estate transaction. We have to source those monies. There, see the frustration that is mounting already. Why do you need to know that? I'm not giving you my bank statement. You see everything that's in it. Well, you're part of a real estate transaction in the United States of America. You are now subject to the transaction. We're going to need your bank statements. It is what it is. I know it's frustrating. That's why I'm doing these videos. So we get the bank statements. I'm looking at the bank statements from your parents. Oh, here's a $5,000 deposit coming in from another account. Guess what? Now I need the bank statements from the other account that you took it from. Well, we took it from an IRA. Okay, great. We got to source, paper trail. We got to source those funds. Now I need a statement from the IRA that shows that those monies were really yours. Coming from the IRA into your checking, out of your checking, into your kids' account. Just part of what it is. Now here's really bad news. We get your parents' bank statement. There's a $5,000 cash deposit. Oh my land. So that's a severe no-no. The transaction is going to have difficulty getting across the finish line if we got that situation that happens. And guess what? It does happen from time to time. That's why, again, it's important that you choose a lender that can set this up appropriately before you go looking for a home. Okay, great. You're going to get a gift from your parents. Great, not a problem at all. Let's talk about that. Let's look how that's going to unravel, okay? Let's unravel this now so we can set the expectations of your parents up now. We're going to need their bank statement. Do they have enough money in there now? Where's it really coming from? Is it coming from an IRA? Are they going to liquidate something and then move it into their checking before they move it out of their checking into your account? Let's talk about all of this now to try to prevent some of these frustrations when it comes to the assets. Man, oh man. Just keep that in mind. Conventional loans are a little different. And it depends if we can get the donor to send the monies directly to your escrow account rather than putting it into your own personal account beforehand. And again, that's talking to your lender and setting and making sure that your lender knows what in the heck they're doing, because look, most of them don't. I'm telling you, most of them will not catch this, will not have this conversation with you and just piss you off when they could have prevented some of these frustrations. So, do you want to avoid some headaches? I ask my customers. Okay, great. Let's do this. Let's have your parents directly wire the monies, the gift monies, to your escrow account. Let's not put it in your account, then you take it from your account and put it in the escrow account at the end. This is going to save a few headaches. And here's why. It's because after the fact, we're going to need to get bank statement printouts with the URLs on them and a daily running balance, in which I'm going to get into on part 3 of the Frustrated Incorporated series. So we'll talk about that next series, right? Next part 3. But that's what, just have the consumer wire their funds directly to title, and that's going to save everybody some headaches. So recap. 1, today's episode. 1, Cutting the earnest deposit check from an account that was not disclosed to your lender will create frustrations. Disclose all assets to your lender up front in day one. And make sure that your lender has the wherewithal and the knowledge to review your assets to say, whoa, wait. Can you just cut the earnest deposit from Wells Fargo and not B of A? Because B of A, man, I see some funky transfers here coming in and out from this other business. That maybe we shouldn't get into that. You know what I'm saying? 2 is gift monies from relatives and how frustrated that can become. You need the bank statements. You got to review the bank statements. They need to have the monies to gift you so they can gift you. And I know that sounds weird, but you can't be a pass-through account. You can't be a money laundering account. You can't use cash in a real estate transaction that has a mortgage financing attached to it. Keep that in mind. With that said, it's Friday Coffee with your mortgage man, Eric, 602-757-2171. Frustrated Incorporated, part 2 of a 3-part series. See you.